stuck in her skin, like a puppet, a girl on a string. Broke away, learned to fly. If you want her back, gotta let her shine.
Hey, what's up, peeps? This is Ellie Knight, and I am back to rock your world with my review of The Power of Poppy Pendle by Natasha Lowe. I forgot to mention this book, which I have reread like 7 or 8 times, because I think it's cute and I love it so much. In my November, I wanted to add it to Decemberween, but I totally forgot, but I thought it fit because it's a book about a little witch. And not little like she's like 5. This isn't like Little Witch the picture book. This is like a chapter book. You'd probably give this to like an 8-year-old. But I think that a lot of people should read it because it's I think that more people need to read this book so that they can talk it up, because there aren't very many. It's a middle grade book, and there aren't very many middle grade books that deal with what The Power of Poppy Pendle deals with, which is abuse. So I'm just putting that out there right now. This book deals with a lot with abuse. Poppy's parents are abusive. They don't beat her or anything, but that doesn't mean that it's, you don't have to hit your kids to abuse them. The thing is that Poppy is a witch, and she's okay with being a witch, but her parents want her to be like a professional witch. She wants to be a baker, and they don't want her to be. Her dad actually would be fine with it. Like, he doesn't really care, but he's letting her mom make the parenting decisions, and her mom is like, no, you have to be a witch because your grandmother, your great-grandmother, was like one of the most powerful and famous witches in history, and we have to live up to that legacy, so you can't be a baker, and you need to devote all your time to practicing magic. Even though Poppy's a natural at it, you have to devote all your time to practicing magic, and, no baking for you, except after you've done all your homework, and blah, 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 blah. And, some parents might be like, well, that's not that big of a deal. Okay, here's the deal, is that, so Poppy she's a very gifted witch. She's an even more gifted baker. She's been reading since she was like 4. She's been creating her own recipes since she was like 6 or 7. She is constantly experimenting. She could run a bakery if she was old enough to own a building. She's really good. And her dad is like, her dad even says she's really good. She's amazingly good. She's like MasterChef Junior could definitely win good. Anytime her mom sees her with anything baking related, her mom makes this face. And I don't have a camera, so I can't make the face for you. And I am also imagining the face based on the fact that I have had parents, mine and other people's parents, who have made that face at me when they've seen me doing things that they didn't like. I think one of the reasons actually why I'm pushing this book so much whenever I talk about it, I'm like, no, this book is really important and needs to have more, reach a wider audience, is because this is a sort of low-key abuse that a lot of parents do that they don't realize the impact that it's having on their kids. Every time Poppy tries to talk about baking, every time Poppy asks for a baking implement, whatever, anything related to baking, her mom makes this face. Her mom goes, ugh. Her mom, I don't know if you could tell that was like a scoffing noise. I realize my microphone's not the greatest. Her mom will be like, you'll never get anywhere being a baker. No. Now, granted, 1 or 2 little comments there, that would be mean, but not a huge deal. Her mom has been doing this for years. Poppy asks for baking pans, or, a cookbook for her birthday or for Christmas, and her mom's like, no. And her dad's like, well, it is her birthday, why can't we? And her mom's like, no, we're gonna get her spell books because that's what she needs. And, she's like, I really don't want to go to witch school, I want to go to culinary school. And she's like, how about, if I agree to go to witch school, then you guys pay for me to go to culinary school when I'm older. And her mom's like, no, we are never paying for you to go to culinary school because it's a waste of time, and you'd be wasting your life. How dare you even ask? Okay, her mom is, oh god, I hate her mom. So, and, her friends, she has, a mortal friend, she has witch friends, and they're all like, your baking is so good, and, the teachers are like, your baking is so good, but, you do need to pay attention in class. But, everyone is like, if you want to be a baker, not a big deal, but, let the girl be a baker, and her mom's like, nope. It gets to the point that her mom rips the oven out of their house That's how bad it is. It's ridiculous. Poppy comes downstairs one day, and there's this big hole in the middle of everything. Because you know how, like, most people, like, in their houses, you've got, like, the counter, and then, like, the sink, and then, like, the garbage disposal, and then the dishwasher, and then, like, the stove, or in some order like that, right? In the middle of counters and dishwasher and sinks, there's this big hole in the counter space, because her mom ripped the oven out and threw it away. And Poppy's like, why did you do that? And her mom is like, well, the thing is I think that even, like, I don't think you should be baking anymore at all ever again. And Poppy's like, wait, what? And her mom's like, yeah, because I think you're getting a little too preoccupied with this whole baking thing. So I took the liberty of throwing out all of your baking implements that you paid for, and burning all of your cookbooks that you paid for, and burning all of your cooking and baking magazines that you paid for, and canceling all of your baking and cooking magazine subscriptions that you paid for, and throwing out everything that you own that is baking related that you paid for. Notice I keep saying that you paid for, because literally her mom steals all of her things and that are baking related and destroys them all. That is so inappropriate. I really like this book. Like, I really do. It's really easy. It's very readable. It's well written. It deals with the abuse very well in a way that isn't preachy or high-handed, and shows how damaging that kind of behavior is for kids. Poppy is constantly suffering from bouts of depression. She feels like she's worthless, like her parents don't love her. Like, it's very well done. I've seen parents complain, oh, this book is too dark for children. It's like, bitch, this book is aimed for 10-year-olds, okay? This book is for 10-year-olds. 10-year-olds get depressed. 10-year-olds feel worthless. 10-year-olds feel like their parents don't love them if their parents do stupid shit like this, okay? Well, what ends up happening is that eventually Poppy just snaps. And this is the thing. Her parents do not have magic, right? Her parents don't have magic. Poppy is extremely gifted with magic. I would be very hesitant to piss off somebody that had a superpower if I did not also have a superpower. I would be hesitant to piss off somebody who could do me damage if I could not in turn do them the same amount of damage. Something similar happened to me when I was in high school. There was a girl in my science fiction literature class when I was a sophomore, and if you're listening to this, Amber, I know where you live. Not that I care, but I do know, because somebody told me. I don't know why they thought I would want to know that, but whatever. Anyway, there was a girl named Amber who told me that she thought I was crazy. Legitimately crazy. That I deserved to be locked up in an insane asylum because I was insane. And I was like, okay, I don't know why you would tell me that to my face. And she was like, because I hate you. And then she basically antagonized me for the entire semester. And I'm like, if you legitimately think that I'm crazy, why are you bothering me? And if you don't think that I'm crazy, why are you bothering me about the fact that you think that I'm crazy? Okay, and then when I finally got mad and she found out that I got angry about it and said some things, well, I didn't say some things, I wrote some things down about how angry I was at her that I maybe should not have written down. Actually, no, that's bullshit. I could write down whatever the hell I want to. And I wasn't like, I didn't threaten her or anything, just for the record. I did not be like, I'm gonna kill Amber. I did not do that. Amber's not her real name, by the way. But I did not, threaten her, which is why this made me so angry. But it was very obvious that I was very angry about the situation, because she basically just would not let up. Every day, insults. Every day, knocking my stuff off my desk. Every day, telling people that I was a bad person. Like, literally, right in front of me, right? And then, she wondered why I got angry, and then she was shocked when I got angry. And then my teacher pulled me aside at one point, and he's like, Amber knows that you're really angry at her. I'm like, okay, good. And he was like, do you know how scared she is right now? I'm like, good, because she's doing something really stupid right now. And that's how I feel about what's going on with Poppy's parents. Because, just like with Amber supposedly thought that I was legitimately dangerously psychotic and antagonized me anyway. Poppy's parents knew that she had magic and knew that she was unhappy and were actively trying to make her unhappy. And then were shocked when she finally said fuck it and decided not to put up with it anymore. And but I was actually glad. I was glad that she did that. It was such an empowering thing for her. I was like, you go you. The only thing is that she basically, so Poppy, like, what Poppy does is she learns a spell that's supposed to stop things that are moving. And, like, this is to show how gifted she is. That it's the first day, the spell's supposed to take, like, 2 weeks to master. The first day of the 2 weeks, the teacher, like, rolls a ball across the floor, and Poppy is upset because she's thinking about the fact that her mom stole and destroyed all of her things. So she's not focusing on the spell, she's focusing on that, and her teacher's like, you need to work on this spell, so try to slow the ball down. I don't expect you to stop it on your first try, but at least try to slow it down. Poppy is like, I really am not feeling up to this right now. And her teacher's like, well, you need to focus in class and stop wool gathering. Whatever's going on with you, it's not as important as what we're doing right now. Which I hate when teachers do that. Oh my god, I hate when teachers do that. But, so does Poppy. She hates it too, and it makes her angry. And she gets so angry that she then, when her teacher's like, now try to slow the ball down. The thing is, apparently, this spell comes in stages. The part that they were trying to learn is trying to stop things that are moving. Apparently, the more advanced version of that spell is turning shit into stone. She turned the ball into stone. And everyone was like, on the first day, within the first, like, hour of working on the spell. And everyone was like, holy shit. And Poppy, and the thing is Poppy didn't, this is when I realized as I was reading the book, that there was something really wrong at this point, was because she wasn't happy. She wasn't disappointed. She wasn't angry anymore. She was just tired. She just didn't have any energy to deal with whatever they were doing anymore. And so she basically sat down at her desk and put her head down. And the teacher was so freaked out by what happened that she didn't bother her for the rest of the day. But the fact that she reacted that way, and it wasn't the spell. The spell did not take the energy out of her. That's not what happened. She was depressed. Like, seriously, clinically depressed. Now, granted, because this is a middle grade book, and it's a really short one, they couldn't really show, like, the full effects of depression, so they kind of, like, scrunched it all together into the course of about a month. But basically, yeah, at that point, the whole day, she'd been sinking deeper and deeper into depression, and they show it really well. She just doesn't care about anything anymore. And now, for those who don't know, I have cyclothymia, which is very similar to bipolar, but the way my psychologist explained it when I was diagnosed was that it's like being bipolar, except that the lows are lower but don't last as long, and the highs are higher but don't last as long. So, until maybe a couple years ago, it was manageable. I could manage it without medication. I just needed to be able to recognize when I was in what we call it, when me being in a down. When I was in a down, I needed to be able to recognize that, because just being able to recognize it made it easier to deal with. As time went on, though, it stopped being that my lows were lower but didn't last as long, and they started lasting longer and longer and longer and longer, and I ended up developing serious depression. And I'm now on antidepressants, which I didn't really... I never thought I would need antidepressants, because I do pride myself on being self-aware enough to manage myself most of the time. But I think being able to self-diagnose is part of that. And so I went about 3 to 4 weeks at one point where I didn't do anything except go to work, because I had to. I didn't read. I didn't watch TV. I didn't sing. I didn't listen to music. I didn't write. I literally didn't do anything except I would come home, I would lay down in bed, and I would just stare at nothing until I fell asleep. And then I'd get up, go to work, come home exhausted, and lie down and stare at nothing until I fell asleep. And I did that for about a month. And that was when I realized I didn't want to leave my house. I didn't want to do any of the things that used to make me happy, because they didn't make me happy anymore. I didn't care about them. And that was when I realized that we had a problem. And I talked to my husband, and I didn't care that I had a problem. I was like, my brain acknowledged, this isn't right. We shouldn't be feeling this way. Oh well. And then I was like, but the fact that I didn't care freaked me out enough that I was like, okay, this might actually be like a little dangerous. So I talked to my husband, and I'm like, here's how I'm feeling. And my husband is also on antidepressants and has been for a long time. And he's like, I think we need to talk to somebody about getting you onto antidepressants, which was the best decision I ever made regarding my mental health, to be honest. But so when that happened to Poppy, I was like, oh shit, this is really bad. And that was even before that happened to me, because the first time I read this was before that happened to me. But I recognized, I'm like, I've felt that way before. This is really bad. This is bad. She shouldn't be feeling like this. And so, as the book went on, she went home. Her parents didn't notice. Her mom started ragging on her. And I'm just like, bitch, do you not see that there is something wrong with your daughter? What the hell? And finally, her mom is just nag, bitch, insult, you suck, Poppy. Why can't you just do what I want you to do? Why can't you just capitulate to my every shrewish wish? Blah, 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 blah. But finally, Poppy just turned her to stone. And I was like, you go, girl. Only problem was, then Poppy ran away from home and shacked up in an abandoned cottage and didn't take care of herself, didn't bathe, wouldn't cook, didn't care about anything, started attacking people. She turned like anything that came near her, she started turning to stone because she just didn't want to be bothered with anything. And I was like, oh, this is going to be really bad. But it was handled really well. I really liked it. It made me sad for her, and it was hard to read because I wanted to stab the mom in the face and then gouge out her eyes with a spoon because I hated her so much. But I really, really liked it. I thought it was one of the most insightful books into abuse, emotional abuse, and depression. And it was written in a way that even young children could understand, even if they didn't know the clinical medical terms, like clinical depression. They could still tell that cause and effect. What Poppy's parents are doing is what is making her feel this way, and what they're doing is not okay. And I really like that. It's just a really cute book. And there's recipes in the back. Just saying. Poppy's recipes, they're in the back. I think that's important. I like baked goods. So yeah, it's such a good book. And it's not spooky or anything, like a lot of the other, but it's about witches and magic. And it's really cute. It's a cute book. It's sad. It ends happy. There are times during the book where Poppy is happy. She ends up running away from home at one point before everything gets really bad. Gets really bad. When it's bad enough that she's like, I can't handle this anymore, so she runs away. And she ends up moving in with this baker lady and helping her at the bakery. And unfortunately, she ends up getting found later. And the woman is really responsible about it. She's like, I really think we should call your parents. And Poppy's like, I can't. She's like, they don't love me there. And the woman, instead of being like, all right, well, you can't stay here, she's like, okay, here's the deal. You can stay up for this long, and then we're gonna have to call your parents. And I think it was only a week. She's like, you can stay for a week, and then we have to call your parents. And Poppy's like, okay. And then somehow the parents found out, and so then her mom shows up, and she's like, Poppy, you'll never bake again, and you irresponsible woman, you kidnapped my daughter. And Poppy's like, no, Mom, let me explain what happened. And her mom's like, no, you're not allowed to explain anything. You can't talk anymore. Shush, be quiet. And I was just like, bitch, oh my god, shut the fuck up. I hate Poppy's mom. Sorry. Apparently, the thing is that once they, Poppy ended up turning everybody back to normal except her parents. When she tried, they wouldn't go back to normal. And apparently what it was is that, the spell, their attitude wouldn't let them go back to normal. And so the only way for them to go back to being fleshy was for them to get the fuck over themselves. Suffice to say, her dad popped out a lot sooner than her mom did. The book ends with her mom still a statue, but the dad's like, well, she'll get over it eventually. And by the second book, The Courage of Cat Campbell, the parents are not only out, but Poppy and them have a really good relationship, apparently. I'm really struggling with getting through The Courage of Cat Campbell because, once again, abusive parents, but we'll see what happens. That also does not have an audiobook, and I really think it should because it's really short, so it shouldn't be that expensive to produce, but I guess whatever. Anyway, so that's my review of The Power of Poppy Pendle. I think everybody who can handle the abuse aspect should read it because it is the cutest little book about witches. It's so cute. And they have little brooms and stuff. It's like a better written Worst Witch. Worst Witch is a really neat book series and TV show and movie that came out long time ago, I used to watch the TV show when I would visit my grandparents because they didn't have cable. But that was like one of the few kids shows that was on the all access channels randomly. I don't know why, because it's an English show, but it was. Anywho, thanks for listening. Hit the like button if you love me, subscribe for more of me, or you can leave a comment down below. And don't forget to check me out on 8tracks, Archive of Our Own, DeviantArt, Etsy, fanfiction.net, fictionpress.com, finfiction.net, Goodreads, Patreon, Pinterest, Tumblr, Twitter, Wattpad, YouTube, or you can buy me a coffee. That was a lot. And I'll paste all of those links in the doobly-doo down below. Thanks so much. Love you all. And a special shout out to my lovely patrons, Amanda, Belle, Chelsea, Cynthia, Lorien, and Whitney. To get a shout out, support me on Patreon. And always remember, you guys, you are loved. And I'll talk to you later. Bye!